Hello everyone, welcome to the GSS course sessions on geography. So in this session, we're going to see the Odisha Public Service Commission's based mains paper of 2022, and I'm here to give you the perspective about not an answer exactly. I'm going to give you the dimensions like for your answer, and with the aim to make your answer very authentic according to the demand of the question and very different from your competitor. So I'm going to give the hint also how to make your answer different, what approach you need and required in examination hall so that you can handle question spontaneously with a little knowledge also. You can write very marvelous answer. So taking question one by one of geography, we'll do what? We'll first see the idea, like how we're going to follow the idea in the sense ki we're going to see the like approach whenever some question comes, what approach we need to keep. Before writing an answer, we need to plan a blueprint for the answer. So let us suppose some question is of 200 words. Some question you have to define in a 200 words. And what normally we do, we start writing. Immediately we find the question, we circle down the key demand of the question and we start writing answer. So this is where I want to give a hint, and that is on the basis of which I'm going to discuss the rest of the question. So I'm having a rest of the question available with me. I'm going to guide you how to plan for these questions and then how to manage so that you can achieve the desired demand of the question, right? So let us see, if some question is there, you have to require in 200 words, what would be the right way to write an answer? Anyways, you can write point wise or paragraph wise. So even if you are writing in a point wise, you need to search in some heading, on the macro heading, and on the basis of the heading, you are writing. Suppose you have started an answer, you have searched in a heading, and beyond this you have made a point 1, point 2, right, point 3. So it means you need to have some heading first, and then within the heading you will going to write in a point wise. So now this is how, like for me, point wise is writing in a 1 line, 2 line at a time. Now when you are writing in a paragraph wise, you are writing a very 1, 2, 3 paragraph, then changing paragraph, and writing paragraph, changing paragraph. So in either of the cases, we need to point wise or paragraph wise, we need to change macro headings or paragraph to tell examiner that we are touching different dimensions. So if suppose you are writing in a 200 words, either in a point wise or paragraph wise, and you have touched in a 6 dimensions. So suppose this is an answer notebook and you have touched a 6 dimensions, right? Or if it is of a 300 words, 8 dimensions. So now what I'll do, going to make in a boxes. See, we have a boxes here. Now we have a box number 1, box number 2, box number 3, box number 4, box number 5, box number 6. So these boxes represents the paragraph, right? Now what I'll do, with every question I'll make 6 boxes, 8 boxes, and then I'm going to give you the hint, like before writing paper answer, you must think on these boxes, make a random thinking, organize your thoughts in the different boxes, and keeping in a box in front, then start writing. Speed comes, everything comes, your answer become very organized. So let us take up on some hint here, how to write an answer. So I'll do what? Some of your answers are of 250 words, some of answers are 300 words. I'll take some reference word limit of 200, and then I'm going to give the hint, like you can add on these 2 more paragraphs so that we can have some kind of uniformity will come within all questions. So let us take up this question. So my boxes basis idea is the idea of a blueprint of the answer. So it takes 2 minutes to make a blueprint and organize your thought and then write your answer. In that way, answers become very systematic, organized, complete, multi-dimensional, right? So like above all, the speed also comes, because if things are ready with us, we can write with an ultimate speed. Otherwise, if things are not organized, we are thinking, writing, it obstruct. It like retard our speed. So let us take up this question. So I'll do what? I'll keep and consider that this is in a 250 words around question, and then we'll see if had this question it would be 100, 200 words or 300 words, how the picture would have been different. So the question says, do you think that the sustainable development goal targets are achievable? If yes, how are they going to be achieved it? And if not, what are the obstacles to achieve it? Now, there is no sense defining what is sustainable development is, because the question is not on sustainable development, it is on sustainable development goals, right? The keyword, we need to be very much clear about the keywords, and above all, we need to be very much careful about introduction. Why? Because introduction tell us all about the standard of the question. Like, it gives a hint that whether you understand question or not. Writing a definition of a sustainable development, you are misdirecting your answer. So let us suppose we have some around 250 words answer is there, question is there, which we need to write in a 250 words. So I am making 6 boxes here. So 6 boxes are, these 6 boxes are the representative of our paragraph, right? Now we have a 3-part of this question. So we have first part, do you think that development goals targets are achievable? First part. Second, if yes, are we going to take, if yes, how are we going to achieve it? If not, what are the obstacles to achieve it? Now, some of you will take one stand, other will take another stance. But what is my idea? Never take a stance. If any question comes, never take a stance. Why not? Because who knows what thought examiners are having. Sometimes our thoughts matches with them, sometimes we have opposite ideas. So always take a stand mid of. Like, yes, you say, yes, few are achievable, few are not, right? And then don't, like, after telling obstacles, don't stop, give suggestions, right? So we have the paragraph 1, right? So what to write in a paragraph 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So the first paragraph is an introduction, and that is very, very important. Like, it is an entry door for your answer. So right from the line 1, define sustainable development goals. Sustainable development goals and their broad objectives. And right here in the box number 1 itself, you have to discuss about the complicities of their achievability, right? And then before you set in a ground, so you are setting in a ground here, what are the complicities we have? And then you have to write, yes, despite this complicities, we have some goals are achievable. So you have to write which goals are achievable. So you have to write here achievable goals, and these goals are related to the poverty reduction. India played a very remarkable role, right? Poverty reduction. Then we have an access to clean water. Then we have the things related with disaster mitigation. So you have to write these all, and then you have to justify also why they have got achieved. So here you have a chance to give some positive outcome of globalization, cooperation, coordination. So here you have to tell why they are achievable, right? So cooperation, coordination, technology transfer, such things you have to write here if things are achievable. Awareness is a very important component for making things achievable. Then you have to make a list of things which are not achievable. So you have to write that disparity is in one of the reason. Disparity, like sustainable development goal may, like you have to tell some of the goals, you have to list all, and then you have to reason out why these goals are not achievable. So you have to make a reasons also here. So we have a conflict, then we have a climate change is a very important. Climate change, like it is breaking all these what linkages, right? Then uneven distribution of resources, and then we have financial issues are there. Now if you have obstacles to achieve, then we have some achievable things are there. Then you have to write financial constraints are there, and then you have to write a conclusion here. Conclusion. Now what to write in a conclusion? You can define a strategy also. A strategy. What strategies? You have to tell that yes, strengthening international cooperation, increasing collaboration, resource sharing, technology transfer, knowledge transfer is somehow a very important component of achieving the obstacles, achieving the sustainable development goal. And then you have to conclude by telling what if we're going to achieve sustainable development, like what going to be the world of that era when we have the things are operating on the level of sustainable development. So I must tell you that this question is a very high standard question, touching at par with an UPSC. So, and they demand your opinion, not your information, your opinion. So it is an opinionated answer, right? Okay, coming to the next question. Now this is again very interesting, like confusing also. People think what it is a very factual question, but what I believe is a very much based on your understanding about the in-depth value of our national park. So question is outline the significance of Bhitarkanika National Park. So if things are outlined the significance, so we do not have any other things to write, right? So let us see the plan of this question. So no sense writing where we have a location, right? What is their dimension, what plants we have, nothing. We're going to give the better in like a start. You need to write in the writing introduction. While you start writing introduction, give a brief idea, briefly define salient features of Bhitarkanika National Park and list down all these what significance, like it has a great value in terms of what biodiversity, then ecology, ecosystem, right? Then like ecotourism, scientific research, economy. So you just have to highlight everything what you're writing in detail here, because everywhere you have to discuss about significance, right? All side you have to write significance. So no sense writing a challenges, conservation efforts. No point you will score if you write other than the significance. So now the next paragraph, you need to write the biodiversity hotspot. So it is a biodiversity hotspot. Here itself you have many things to write, right? Like what it is the second largest, right? It is a habitat for crocodile, right? It important in managing the food pyramid, ecological balance, imbalance. So give all biodiversity related features and their analysis here. Then ecology related, ecology and ecosystem related features here. Here you can tell that yes, mangroves and their different features are having these much of the benefit. Then they act as an what carbon sink, they can control climate change, they can support local livelihoods, right? Okay, then ecotourism. In ecotourism you can tell that there are many opportunity we have. If things are running on sustainable development, we can achieve many things. And then you have to make some aspects of the local participation also. And then scientific research, how it is going to be useful for scientific research. You have to tell that wildlife conservation efforts excuse me, can be managed from this side, and then you have to write in one conclusion. Looking at the words requirement, you can tell, you can add or extract some paragraph. So in that way, the purpose is to tell every time you have to give a significance. Okay, coming to this question. So again, see, I just want to appreciate the standard of the question because these are at par with an UPSC. Why? Because see, answers you cannot find in any book. Disaster risk reduction is everybody's business. Discuss with an evidence. So before that, we need to know what is disaster risk reduction. So what is risk? It is in a consequences into likelihood, right? So likelihood means probability of some mishappening to happen, and the probability, their likelihood we measure in terms of probability and frequency. Consequences, we have a list of ideas are there according to the World Bank, DALA. There under DALA methodology, we see what are the losses we have, damages we have, direct loss, direct, indirect losses. So we have the consequences components one side. Now the question says disaster risk reduction is everybody's business. Now what that everybody defines here? So first you need to do what? In the line 1, you have to tell that what are the methodology of disaster risk reduction. So briefly you have to design. So let us see, we have a boxes here. There we have the boxes. Just a minute. So we have a boxes here. Okay, so now question is, disaster risk reduction is everybody's business. The keyword is everybody. Now we need to search out who all are the part of everybody is here. So first we need to write some introduction about disaster risk reduction. Risk reduction, there if you like you can give a hint that what are the objective of Hyogo framework for action, Sendai framework for action, Yokohama, like how DRR have got their objectives in a like this framework of actions, how the things got changed. No? So you have to give this hint right from the Yokohama to Hyogo to Sendai, disaster risk reduction. We came very close to disaster risk reduction, and then we have realized that it is not in a government job only. It is in a like a role it required is to play the the participation we required is from every startup from different levels. How? So you have to write individuals, then community, community, then community and organization, then after community and organization you can write nations, and then you can write international organization. Now, what is this disaster risk reduction? The disaster can be mitigate, manage within 4 methods of disaster management. That is, the things start with the mitigation, preparedness, recovery and response. Response and recovery. So disaster risk reduction can be happen when we have mitigation and preparedness related efforts are there. So you have to tell how the individuals can manage their mitigation, their preparedness. So we have the mitigation and preparedness. So here you have to give a hint that the first aid training, then we have a supply of essential component contributing to different resilient communities. So and then we have early warning system. So you can write 2 paragraphs. How preparedness measures, how mitigation measures related to the individuals will have managing disaster management. Then community and organization. So when we are talking about the community and organization, so here the community and organization, you can take all organization like NGO, and then you can take in the private sector. Here you can even take in the media. So here again you have a scope to write in 3 distinct paragraphs looking at the demand of the question. If the question is in 300 words, give everyone a one paragraph. Then we have an international organization. Under international organization, see that like a best practice, sharing of best practice, international organization, how the cooperation can come. So sharing of ideas and involvement of United Nations in a guidance, in supporting towards building global resilience can help mitigating the disaster risk. So in that way you can write answer. So what is the demand of the question is to see whether you know the everybody's in the question or not. So individual level, organization level, the international level, how the things are there. And then you have to write a conclusion. In the conclusion you can tell about what going to the future of the world when we have disaster, not so disaster free, but disaster resilience. So how the world will look like. So we have a more or less like a what regionality, optimum utilization of the global resources will be benefit not only the humanity of one, we have all over uniform development. So in that way you can highlight some possible prospects. Now we have the next question which says what are the 5 P's of this sustainable development goals? Explain briefly. So again in introduction, you have to tell everything you are going to write in detail, because introduction is is a window of your answer. UPSC through window only, the way we go for the market, and through window we get attracted to some article and then we enter. So the window of your answer, your introduction of your answer is going to tell everything about your answer, and that is where examiner sets a mind. Because we also checked on many copies. When I was there in the university, I was checking in many copies. Reading introduction, we got a clue that okay, this much of the quality of answer is there, and with that we think about how extra marks we should give. The criteria we set, okay, it comes under a good answer. So now reading the next of the body and related analysis, I'm going to go up then after. So that is how you have to give when you are writing an introduction. Here again, no sense writing what is sustainable development, right? You have to write in introduction, you have to discuss the 5 P's here itself. 5 P's, right? And these P's are related to the people, planet, partnership, right? Planet, partnership, prosperity, peace. So in that way, you have to tell these all, and then one by one, you have to write how the people has a role here in this sustainable development. So you have to tell that we need to focus on ending the poverty, hunger, ensuring the healthy life, right? Its well-being, and then you have to give a hint of SDG, Sustainable Development Goal, which goal has talk about what aspects of the people, right? So we have a Sustainable Development Goal 2, which talks about zero hunger, good health, well-being. Then we have a planet. Sorry, planet. When we talk about the planet, you have to tell how to protect natural resources. Then you have to give an examples of SDGs, right? The article like a goal number 13, which says about the climate actions. Then goal number 14, which talks about the life below water level, life of the land. So you have to relate it with the sustainable development goals also. Then prosperity. When you are talking about the prosperity, you have to take how the inclusiveness will bring in a prosperity, and what sustainable development goal number 8, goal number 9, which talks about decent work and economic growth, industrial innovation, infrastructure, SDG 9, right? As SDG 10 says, reducing inequalities. In that way, you have to give an answer. Then we have a peace. You have to justify what is the importance of the peace in sustainable development, and you have to talk about where do we have these peace article given in a sustainable development goal. So it is there in the 17, right? So partnership for the goals, the peace. Then we have the this is there in the 16, and then we have a 17 is there in the for partnership. So partnership and their role and their presence there in the sustainable development goal here, and then we have the conclusion. Okay, now we'll see the next question, which says what is precision agriculture and will it be possible in Indian agriculture? So question, they do not want you to write the definition of the precision agriculture. You have to give the importance, right? Okay, you can start with that it is a use of technology and data to manage agriculture inputs, such as water, fertilizer, pesticides, right? So that we can have a better, very great precision based agriculture production. So what is exactly required to the plant, we are giving that only, no extra. And then you have to mention a benefit here itself, benefit. Now it is to increase efficiency, sustainability, yield, productivity, everything. And then you have to discuss, because we have two parts of this question, what is precision agriculture. So we need to discuss this in detail. So now you have to discuss about the component here. Component may we have a data collection, right? Then we have information processing, then we have variable rate application, then farming practices. So you can discuss this all here. And then when the second part comes, will it be possible to Indian agriculture or not? So before writing the possibility, you need to set a ground. You have to tell that what are the conditions we have with the agriculture practices in India. We have so much wastage of water, right? Agriculture is a main a component consuming most of the water. So in that way, you have to set a ground first, writing the critical characteristics of Indian agriculture, which says yes, there is a requirement. And then you have to discuss will it possible in Indian agriculture or not. So you have to give this hint here. right? So you have to tell, acha, this boxes is in a blueprint only. You have to plan things here and then you have to write answer in detail, right? This is in a 2-minute exercise based like a component. Then you have to write how it is going to be possible. Then right, there is a growing awareness, government initiatives are there, we have advantages we have seen already in horticulture, we have a potential in managing waters in a water scarce regions. Then we have to talk about the challenges and then solution. Challenges and then solution, right? So in this way you can manage your answer here, and when you are writing your conclusion you have to briefly summarize the potential challenges in India, and then you have to give one suggestion that despite defining the challenges and all, you have to make some suggestion, possible suggestion, and the strategy which can overcome, so that we can get a feasible beneficial outcome of the precision agriculture. Okay, now we'll see this question which says ki what is geoinformatic, what are its advantages in planning in various sectors. So we have to discuss, so we have what is geoinformatic, and then we have to see the advantages only in planning, only in planning. So we need to be very careful about these two words. So when we have a geoinformatics, so let us suppose we have 6 boxes. Acha, okay, keep this thing in mind. I am not telling you to write answer in a boxes. I am giving a blueprint only, right? Boxes represents blueprint, rough work. This is a rough work. Introduction mein you have to plan for introduction, then this paragraph, that paragraph, in that way. So you have to give your opinion that it is in a role of geography and information system. Now why? Now how? So it is through capturing, storing, analyzing, visualizing geospatial data, right? And then you have to write in one line in importance, how this is going to be very important. And then here you have to discuss about the component, because what is geoinformatics? So we have a 2-part, so we need to give a significant value to this, so we can write 2-3 paragraphs on defining geoinformatics. Now if you are writing a definition only, you aren't going to satisfy the demand of the question. So how to manage? Write the components of these geoinformatic concepts. The components are GIS, geographic information system, then remote sensing, then global navigation system, right? Write about them for a brief, and then discuss other technology, right? And give some hint. Now what are the advantages we have in a planning? So you have to bifurcate the planning process. The planning is related with what? It is related with data collection, right? So planning, I am writing in the planning here. So in planning, what we do, we have a data collection, then we have decision making, then resource management, then improvement. So in that way you can write. So you can write here. So in data collection, how this is going to be important, data collection and analysis, right? Integration, analysis, then how it will going to help in decision making. It will give a chance to make an informed decision making, right? Then how it is going to improve efficiency in resource planning. So it can minimize time, energy, money wastage, right? Then how it is going to help in infrastructure planning, environmental protection, right? And then you have to write a conclusion. Okay, then last question is, related with climate resilience. So this question is very different than the question we have seen above. Here they are directly interested to see your understanding on climate resilience. The question is not what is. Question says, what do you understand by the term climate resilience? So UPSC with this are very interested to see your assessment analysis, right? Because our analysis is actually our like capacity to take some administrative decisions. So that is how you have to discuss features here. So you need to discuss in length because we have a 2 component only, and there we have to discuss very much in a great length. So how to write? You have to just give a one hint, like what is a value. So it defines the anticipation, absorption, and anticipate, absorb, accommodate, and recovering capacity of a community from the some impact, disaster impact. Resilience is opposite of vulnerability. Vulnerability means inability to fight back or to fight any disaster related impact. So like a disaster resilience is anticipation, absorb. If some loss is there, the way we have there in the Japan, they can absorb the damage, right? With their technology and all, if the earthquake comes, the building vibration comes but does not collapse. So that is how we have the things this side. And then you have to write some dimensions in detail so that you can tell that yes, I have understood the concept of the climate resilience. So you have to discuss anticipation in detail. Now what to write? It is the capacity of predicting future through science, through research, through data modeling and all. Then you have to write absorption capacity. Absorption capacity defines how much adaptive strategies we have, like in California, which receives a Mediterranean climate, receives rainfall during winter, finding no rain during winters. Now they have adapted their agriculture practices. They have a drought resistance, like agriculture is there. The households are having a drought resistance water using like what technique and all. So in that way you have to make this judgment also here. Absorption, you can write these all. Then we have an accommodation related features. There also you have to write in detail that how the adjusting to the impact of the climate change cannot be entirely prevent, but like shifting will help in mitigating some of the impact, right? We can change, we can not only control the changing weather pattern, but also we can control the losses. Then recovery and their features. Recovery tells us about our bounce back, like how fast we can bounce back. Now need. What is the need for it? Need के लिए भी, for need also you have to tell that why the climate change is very dangerous, because you have to tell the climate change is very frequent, very widespread, harming the agriculture. The flood and drought is putting in a threat to the food potential of the land. Then how disturbances of ecosystem biodiversity is somehow very urgently to look after. Then you have to make a list of these all, and then you have to tell, like, if we have the losses and all, then what would the economic cost of this loss, right? The TEEB concepts, the economic efficiency of biodiversity given by the Pius. There was one personality was there in Germany who has given this idea, TEEB, right? So you have to give these all hint here, and then finally you have to make one conclusion, where in the conclusion you can tell that resilience is so important to make world not disaster free, but like you have to tell that we can become a safe planet, right? Longevity comes, future generation will be safe and secured. So in that way we can given a hint, and then we can ask for, there would be a call of action you can also put. If there is an urgent need that like we should all take the global resource as in a common heritage for all of us. It is not in a individual heritage, it is a shared humanities heritage. So in that count you have to tell and like wind up your answer. And this is what the end of our session also. So thank you very much.